The artist that created this artwork is named Paul-Émile Bourgeois. He was born in Saint-Hilaire, a city east of Montreal, on November 1st, 1905. He has 6 siblings and lived with his mother and father as a child. At the age of 16, Bourgeois was taken on as an apprentice by the artist Osaïa Leduc, who also lived in Saint-Hilaire. They both worked together on church decorations. Leduc encouraged Bourgeois to attend l'École des Beaux-Arts de Montréal the year after the school opened. The director of the school, Charles Maillard's lack of recognition for the value of modern art slowed down Bourgeois' career as an artist, believing the director to have hurt his reputation for years to come. Bourgeois' first published piece was named Study of a Sparrow Hawk in a Decorative Landscape. As Bourgeois became more widely known, he chose to explore surrealist automatism throughout his works, eventually creating the Quebecois group of artists known as Les Automatistes. In 1948, Bourgeois also published a manifesto called Refus Global, in which he declares artist independence and demands expressive freedom. This manifesto was important to Quebec's history and contributed to the quiet revolution that started in the 1960s. Surrealism is a concept found throughout most of Bourgeois' work. It attempts to combine the reality of the conscious and unconscious mind to create a super reality. Bourgeois expanded on the concept of surrealism by adding the idea of automatism to his art as well, in the process creating an artist movement. Automatism removes the conscious mind from the process of art making and allows the artist to freely paint as the unconscious mind takes over. A recurring theme in his paintings around the time that Composition 44 was created is authority in gestures. The defined shapes and hard contrast between them can be found in both Composition 44 and in Abstraction Blue. Composition 69, Bourgeois' final work, was created in 1960 and also holds similarities as there are defined shapes and the use of black for hard contrasts shows authority in gesture. In 1959, Paul-Émile Bourgeois created the Composition 44 using oil paint on canvas. Bourgeois has had many successes as a Canadian artist. As of 1977, the Visual Arts Prize of Quebec was named the Paul-Émile Bourgeois Prize. His work also contributed to the Quiet Revolution of the 1960s, which forever changed Quebec. He also represented Canada at the Venice Biennale, as well as in the 3rd Biennale de Sao Paulo. After his death, the British-American Banknote Company made one of his pieces into a stamp so that the public could buy them and his art and message could be spread globally. At first glance, this artwork seems to be very simple and have no depth, but after taking the time to properly examine this artwork, as well as research the artist and his thought process, we have come to the conclusion that it is much more. The surrealism phase Bourgeois was going through at the time is found within this piece. The solid black stroke of paint represents the conscious mind being overtaken and dominated by the green stroke, which represents the unconscious, free-spirited mind. As we can see, the green line does mix in with some of the black lines as it goes over it. This is reminiscent of the fact that we as humans cannot completely shut off conscious existence, and that pieces of it will still exist and influence our unconscious minds. When we recreated this artwork, we kept all of this in mind and wanted to do it justice. We did it in a public area where people could walk on it and look at it or even ignore it. All this is a message to them to not always be ruled by your initial thoughts and to let your subconscious take over once in a while.